Hello, and welcome to Finder and Keeper, the podcast, a podcast for the woman who is on a journey of finding herself and keeping herself. I'm Ashley, and I'm your host. Today, I'm joined by Tyler Kennedi, a mom, creator, and a woman learning to navigate life one day at a time. Tyler's story is one of faith, growth, and grace, learning to heal through therapy and scripture, to embrace imperfection, and to rediscover who she is beyond motherhood. In this conversation, we talk about what it really looks like to show up for yourself, to let go of the pressure to have it all together, and to trust that even in the messy middle, you are still becoming. Well, Tyler, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I'm really excited to have you on the podcast. How are you
Yeah.
feeling?
I am so excited. We go way back, so
Way back.
I'm just like, whew, I've never done this before.
Well, I'm glad that you are going to be talking today about motherhood and how it's changed you, how you've been able to also maintain yourself after motherhood. Before we jump into all of that and I get into your business, let's let's start a little bit light. I want to ask an icebreaker. So, what is the funniest or most chaotic mom moment you've had lately? So, one of those moments where you're like, I cannot believe this is my life. What in the world?
Oh, there's so many to choose from. The most chaotic. I would have to say, both of my girls like boys,
What?
5 and 8 years old. Um, Layla has like 4 boyfriends,
Oh, okay, period.
and Riley dry snitched on herself, trying to snitch on Layla. And it was just this whole big thing because as a mom of girls
Mm-hmm.
and knowing how fast life moves and how you really don't have control what happens outside of your household. So it's like I
Mm-hmm.
try to, be the best I can be. And then, but then there's like these outside things, and it's like, okay, I have a conversation, no touching, no kissing, no hugging. It's okay to think boys are cute, but right now boys are not the focus to, okay, I understand. And then the next day it's like kids coming up to me like, yeah, she has another crush and she's writing love letters, and it's like you barely know how to write your threes the right way. So it's been pretty chaotic because I'm like, this is just very young for me. Like, this is very young. I did not expect for it to happen this soon, because I'm like, I was not 5 wanting a boyfriend. Like,
Right. No, we
and
were five playing with dolls.
we were still like in our teens playing with dolls. So
Right.
I'm like, I don't understand. So that's probably been the most chaotic for me, because it's a balance. I'm trying to balance out honesty, transparency, while still, not giving too much of like, I'm your friend, while
Mm-hmm.
also not like condemning you for something that's completely natural. So
Yeah.
it's been a little chaotic, just trying to balance out my own feelings and sorting out my own feelings about it, and kind of just trying to remove myself out the situation, because I don't want to project onto my kids, but
Yeah.
I want to keep them safe, and I don't want them to be exposed to anything before it's their time. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, you just can't control that. So it's been a pretty big chaotic, because I'm like, I don't know how to, like, I'm still a young mom. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a teen, but I'm a millennial. So it's
Yeah.
like, well, how do I gauge, like, how do I have this conversation with a
Mm-hmm.
5-year-old, with an 8-year-old, that are like, well, he was kind of cute. What do you mean?
That's funny. What are some differences you've seen in between both of them? Because I know I've heard stories about both of them. I know them, but what do you feel like is the biggest difference in between Riley and Layla?
They are night and day. Layla is very extroverted. She is very confident, outspoken. Um, she has a lot of friends. She she just is not afraid. Like, she
Mm-hmm.
is fearless. And then Riley um is super like to herself. She's quirky, quiet. She loves to draw. She's like she's in a sense a little nerd. There's just so many differences. Like Riley has anxiety.
Mhm.
Layla's like, I'm gonna jump off the top of these stairs and I'm gonna do it again. Even if I break my leg, I'm gonna do it with a
Mhm.
broken leg. And so they're just okay, so you've seen Inside Out too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Layla is like a mixture of disgust, um, anger, um, what's that one?
I'm trying. What?
There's anger, there's disgust because
Are you talking about the one
disgust
with the hair?
that's
Wait, no,
Riley. So that's
that was
Inui.
discussed.
So that's
Okay.
Inui. Inui is from the newer one from Inside Out
Mhm.
2. So Riley is a bit of anxiety. Inui was embarrassment. Like she's super, super duper introverted, but at the same time, she has this big, big, big personality, but she's just afraid to let it show because she's very protective over herself.
Mhm.
And I mean, I don't know how else to explain it besides the fact Layla's a Scorpio, Riley's an Aries. Like, if anybody knows anything about those signs, but Riley can have a side too. She can
Mhm.
have that side where she's real snippy and like sassy and like has an attitude. She has her moments where she's like, she can sing. And we know I sing, so like she can sing and she can't really dance like that. But they're just Layla's more on the I want to be a hairstylist. I want to be a nail tech. I want to,
Mhm.
they're like a split of me, like all of
Mhm.
me and
I
one
was
and
gonna say
two
that.
people. It's like on
Mhm.
the other hand, one like Layla's 5 years old and she knows how to slay some edges.
Oh,
Like she does her own edges.
shoot! I
Like
might need to call her.
yeah, girl, she get her little edge brush and her little. She like, where's my edges? That's what she calls it. Where's my edges? And then Riley's like, she can draw really well, she can paint, she can sing,
Mhm.
super creative, super just knowledgeable. She's super bright. She's super, super duper intelligent. And yeah, and I'm teaching her how to cook a little bit. So right now, her peanut butter and jellies are fire. I'm not gonna
Oh,
lie. Peanut butter and jellies are a little
does she toast them?
not yet.
Oh.
I need to see a little more. Like I'm traumatized. Layla put a rice-a-roni in the microwave without water for
Mhm.
3.5 minutes. It almost burned my house down.
What in the world? Kids are so funny. Like they think they're trying. They're
And I said,
trying.
what made you think that was okay when you always put water in your noodles? Why wouldn't you put water in your rice?
That's so funny. But it's really interesting to hear you talk about them because they really are you. Like you have one that is your more softer side and one that is your more harder side.
Yeah.
But let me go ahead and get to talking about you, Miss Girl. So, when you first became a mom, what really surprised you? What is something that you didn't expect?
The emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the emotions. Like Riley was my first baby. So I've always been an emotional person, but it was just like on a different level. Like it was almost like I didn't have control. Certain
Mm-hmm.
things where I was more sensitive to, like it's like you get into this like protection mode and there's just so many things that if I just can pick one thing that probably surprised me the most, it's the consistency. Like it's the consistency of showing up
Mm-hmm.
because every day is not going to be the same. From the time they're newborn babies to right now at 8 years old. It changes every day. And you just get thrown for loops. Like they just hit you out of nowhere, and there's just like, it's just kind of one of those things where you can't even pinpoint one thing because it's like it changes so much and you just learn so much as you go. I mean, you have to be responsible for a whole nother human being. I think that once that set in for me was that there's no turning back now. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
is where I am. She needs me. I have to give this my all because I don't want to fail, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to fail her. And I think that for me, that constant thing just running through your mind, it can drive you crazy, because it's like there's no playbook. We hear our parents say that, oh, there's no book to parenting. There's no book to parenting, and it's like, on one end, you're like, wow, my mom had all of these great qualities that I would love to, instill in my kids as a parent. And then there's some things that you're like, but I don't want to do it like this. Now it's my
Yeah.
turn and I can do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even still a learning process, because as they grow older, what you thought how you were going to parent in the beginning, it changes as they grow, because you can't coddle an 8-year-old how you would a newborn baby. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So the consistent or maybe not the consistent, but maybe the constant change, because you want it to be this one way all the time, because it's like, it was easy when it was like this.
Yeah.
But I saw a quote that said, parenting is not easy for a good parent, because you care a lot, you show up, and you sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
And for that, I can say the sacrifice. The sacrifice. You do sacrifice a lot. You do. You do.
Yeah. And it's really interesting to hear that you said the emotions. I actually saw a video earlier today of a mom, and she was driving in her car, and she was like, sometimes I just get in my car and just cry.
Yes.
I just get in my car and cry. And it was so many mothers just agreeing with
Yeah.
it.
Yes.
Where does that come from? Is that just a buildup, or what is that?
It can be a buildup, but you got to think, as a mom, sometimes you're running on fumes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're just having to keep going. Like I said, that sacrifice. Sometimes you have to put your kids and everything else before you. And it kind of feels like moms don't really have a few minutes out of their day to just sit and really feel the weight of everything. Because sometimes the weight can be so heavy that sometimes those moments in the car, those moments where you're like, you might not even turn the radio on. And it's just like, it's just you, your thoughts, and for me, God, because those are the moments in the car where I'm talking to God, where it's
Mm-hmm.
quiet and all you just have is everything else around you. And it's almost like how we are on this platform and our background is blurred.
Yeah.
That's how it is. It's like, it's tunnel vision, is just you, and it's blurred background and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, there's no kids asking for you for anything. Your phone's not ringing. You're not working. You're not doing anything. You're just with yourself. And sometimes it just comes out. Like I say it's so funny. I do it every single day around the same time. And I'm like, what am I crying for? Why am I crying? And I'm over here like, oh my gosh, my eyes, my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start to cry. And some of it for me is gratefulness, because even in my struggles, my kids love me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my kids tell me how great of a job I'm doing as their mom, because I ask,
Oh,
how do you think I'm doing? Like,
yeah. Leave
can
a
I be doing a
survey.
better job? Can I be doing a better job? What could I be doing? And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just kind of like a reflection moment.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it can be hurt, and some of it can be, just gratefulness, and just being like, I'm here and I got through another day.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you got to wipe those tears before you do your next assignment, which is, you got to go back to either being an employee, a mom, a sister, a friend. There doesn't really always feel like there's a lot of room for us to feel.
Yeah.
The day
Yeah.
goes by so fast. I
It
mean,
does. It does. And for someone who does have kids, a lot of your day is dedicated to them. So, that is probably the only time, well, not probably, that is the only time that you can really cater to yourself, whether
mm,
that's the car ride, the
mhm,
shower,
mhm,
a quick lunch,
mhm.
just any moment where you're away from them. And I can see how that can be tough. What moments did you feel like you were starting to lose yourself? Did you ever feel like that as a mother?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. I am much further along than I was, and I can say I'm grateful for that, but it has taken me 8 years
Mm-hmm.
to feel confident in who Tyler is, because I lost myself really with my first child, because I was just I loved being a mom.
Mhm.
She was like my little mini me. It was fun. Like, I could dress her up. And it was just her. But then I realized, okay, I'm in my early 20s. Like, I was 21. I was pregnant on my 21st. And by the time I had her, I was breastfeeding. I breastfed for a year. So the drinking was limited. I didn't smoke or anything like that. So the drinking was limited because I care so much about my supply that I was like pumping and dumping. I'm not dumping. Do you know how much it took to get this? So I just kind of started to just be okay with being inside and not really getting to travel and do anything, primarily because I didn't really have the assistance that I needed. I was a single mom. So
Mhm.
I didn't really get to explore and live my 20s like traveling and doing stuff. And it kind of put a damper on me because I'm like, man, I'm 21 years old and I haven't been on a plane since I was 10 at the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm seeing all my peers living their best lives. I'm seeing some of my peers with kids, but they have their kids' dad, or I'm seeing, they have a support system and help where it's like, how are y'all able to travel? How are y'all able to do, I found myself comparing myself a lot. And it was because I was like, I was in a very lonely place
Mhm.
and I love to be a mom, but I was in such a lonely place that I was just like, it'll never happen for me. It'll never happen for me because unless someone shows up at my door today and says, I got you and I got that child, or I got
Mhm.
the child, you go do you. It became harder for me because my mental health started to suffer, and that made it even more tough
Yeah.
because I'm now trying to balance my mental health, all these other things that I'm battling, while also trying to make sure that my child doesn't feel even an ounce of what I'm going through. And it put me in autopilot. And so I lost myself for years because even when I would be in a room full of people, I still felt all by myself.
Mhm.
And if I'm being honest, it really wasn't until I officially left the kid's dad and I just kind of was like, F it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Even if it's drop my kids off somewhere and just go to the grocery store by myself. And I started to like my appearance, I just stopped caring. Like, I always had my hair, something done on my hair. We all know I do my own hair. I've always done something to my hair. I've always done my own lashes. I always, I used to beat my face every day. Like, I just stopped doing everything like that. Like, I was then able to buy myself clothes, new clothes and stuff for a while. And I just was like, I just want to make sure my kid is okay. So then when we bring my second kid into the picture, oh yeah, I did not have a lot of confidence at all during that time period because I was alone. And I'm not sure because it's like, even thinking back, like, I do recall times where I would get dressed up or I would like try to make myself feel pretty,
Mhm.
but internally I was alone on an island and there was nothing no one could say to me to get me off,
Mhm.
because the type of support and the type of help that I needed, that I required, it was not available for me. And it just made it hard for me to trust anybody.
Mhm.
And it just got to a point where I think, like, once I got late in my it was the year, I'll tell you when I started to come back into myself. The year I went to Puerto Rico, I believe it was 2022. I went to Puerto Rico at the beginning of the year. First first big trip that I've been on that I paid for myself, because I went to California like the year before that, and my cousin bought my flight to come visit him. But this was only my second time as an adult on an airplane, and it was to
Mhm.
Puerto Rico. It just humbled me in such a way because it just showed me that life was really bigger than where I've been all these years.
Mhm.
It's like, you're just sitting in Indiana and it's like I just looking out the window, or you drive down the street and you're like, God, there's nothing here for me. This is just same thing every day. Cornfields, streets, potholes, all this. And then you go somewhere that you don't even require a passport. Just hop on a plane for a couple of hours and it's beautiful. I mean, Puerto Rico was so gorgeous. I love Spanish. I love Hispanics. I love the culture. So that right there already, it just, it felt and like the sun is right on you. It felt like you could touch it.
Mhm.
It was like in that moment, God really just like shined this light over me and kind of opened my eyes up a little bit that I can. And he's showing me like you can. You don't have to sit there anymore. You don't have to. I felt so free.
Mhm.
And I cried a lot of days on that trip and nobody even knew about it because I was just like, wow, like I thought that I could never get to this place. And it was
Yeah.
for everybody else that already had traveled and that's what they did. They probably wouldn't have understood, but it's like I don't get to do stuff like this, you know. And even then I was like, I'm worried about my kids, like, like what do I buy the kids? Like every street corner we're on, I'm like, I got to get my kids something. And then later in that year, I went to Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii. 10 out of
Beautiful.
10. I mean, it didn't even feel real. Like it felt like the ocean and the sky just blended together.
Mhm.
And it was just it was just beautiful. And so for that's when I kind of so I'll say about 2022. It's
Mhm.
2025. 2022 was probably when I started to kind of get into myself and really get that confidence the way, like, because I was like, I don't want to feel like that no more. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like in a way I was standing in my own way and limiting myself when God was already showing me that I was capable and that it was possible. And sometimes I still struggle. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes I still struggle because I still don't have the support.
Yeah.
I still don't have the help. The kids are just a little older, and right now I understand the assignment. And for me, the assignment is that God is not going to allow you to sit in a place of suffering for too long, and it won't always be like this. And so I just keep trying to remind myself of that, and like that my life is not over. We enter in our 30s and it's like, oh God, I'm the crypt keeper. But my life is not over. I still have many, many years to do everything that I want to do. It's just a matter of transitioning my mindset now to figure out a different way to do it while I'm being a single mother.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to hear just about the lack of support because I find that a lot of people think, okay, you created a child, you should be able to care for this child alone, but you
Yeah.
there needs to be a village. Like
Yeah.
every child requires a village.
Yeah.
And I hate to see how people just leave, single mothers by themselves to take care of things because, oh, you did it on your own. You were able to have the child, so you should be able to
Mm-hmm.
take care of it by yourself. But even if you look in the Bible, there were villages that took care of children. So why
Yes.
would it be any different here in this world that we're living in
Yes.
right now? So it's really frustrating to hear many moms say that they don't have that support
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, we're meant to have a village, which is it's hard to even try and navigate life. Even me not having any kids, it's hard to navigate life without a village at
Mm-hmm.
all. So I could only imagine how that feels. Now, when you were talking about just emotions and depression, do you feel like postpartum played a part in that? Or if you don't mind me asking, how was postpartum for you?
Oh yeah. And you want to know what's so crazy, Ashley, is that I had known nothing about postpartum depression at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe until Riley was like 1.
Mm-hmm.
because I've struggled with anxiety, depression since I was a teenager. And being pregnant and like after the pregnancy, I struggled really bad. Like I had some very dark thoughts and not ever about my kid. It was just always like that I wasn't good enough, that I
Mhm.
couldn't do it, that I didn't want to be here anymore. And, I didn't have the help that I needed from the father. And it just felt like nobody heard me. Nobody seen me. Nobody was showing up for me. And I was like, you know what? Then F it then. Like, I'll leave here. And it was not a good feeling. It was exhausting. And it wasn't until her 1 year follow-up appointment or something where they're like, talking about postpartum depression. And I'm like, what's that? And they're talking about how your body and the chemistry of your hormones and all of these different things can play a part. And then they get to discussing like you could still go through postpartum years after you even have a baby.
Wow.
Because technically, I think it said, and don't quote me, we can debunk this later, but I want to say that they say it takes your body at least 5 to 6 years
Wow.
to
To get back to
completely
normal.
heal from after having a child.
Wow.
And so you think about already having not the best mental health state, adding a baby on there,
Mhm.
and then 2 years later, I have another child.
Mhm.
And by the time I was pregnant with Layla, oh no, no, I was not well. I did not have a fun pregnancy physically already because my body was not happy. I developed sciatica. I could not work. I was disabled. Uh, the other parent, he completely just said, middle fingers to you.
Mhm.
Um, and my mental health suffered a lot. And so I could not connect to Layla during my pregnancy. And it was a very scary feeling to have
Mhm.
because I was like, how am I ever going to be able to love this child the way that I love Riley? And
Yeah.
I can't connect to her in my womb. I felt so bad. But my mindset, and I didn't have anybody uplifting me and loving me and making me feel like I deserve to be here. And so now I just feel like I'm being thrown into this situation where I finally got a grip a little bit and was able to figure out like, okay, I could do this thing with just me and Riley. Like this is gonna be cool. Like I know how to get this money. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. And then it's like, boom, second baby. And you're like, oh shoot, what I'm gonna do with two of these things?
Mhm.
Like, and I struggled because I was sad. I was very depressed while I was pregnant with her. And I knew that, you know, your child is the only person who's close enough to hear your heartbeat, you know? And I'm like, she can feel everything that I'm feeling right now. So what if I my kid up because I can't figure out how to get right?
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you what, she came out a month early. I cried so hard when I held this baby because I loved her. The moment that
Oh.
they put her in my arms, Ashley, I cried, and I haven't told a lot of people this, but I cried so hard, and I think that's why, like, if y'all ever see how glued Layla is to my hip, I really
Mhm.
strongly believe that because I did not think I was going to be able to love her
Yeah.
because I hated their dad.
Mhm.
I hated him. I was like,
Mhm.
why did this man do this to me? What have I ever done to this man to deserve this?
Mhm.
All I've ever wanted to do was be a mom, to love, have a husband, have a family. That was my dream.
Mhm.
And it was never my dream to raise kids alone and struggle while I do it. And everybody always says, "You make it look so good." I'm not trying to make it look good. I'm not trying to, impress anybody or I just do it and I try to encourage other people that, life ain't perfect for me either.
Yeah.
But that baby got here and I loved her down and I never wanted to let her go. And then COVID happened and I couldn't let her go for 2 years because she was home with me every day. But it wasn't even until, like I said, I've been dealing with mental health battles since I was about 13. According to my mother, 7, but that's
Mhm.
another topic of conversation for another day. But 13 officially. So what's that? We were like 7th, 6th, 7th grade, something
I
like
think
that.
so.
Um, it was not until I was pregnant with Riley that I was diagnosed with depression.
Mhm.
It was not until 2023 was when I finally decided to go to therapy. Best decision I could ever make for myself. But it was also where a lot of other diagnoses came in. And
Mhm.
I'm like,
Like, "Oh,
ain't
this
nobody
explains a lot."
told me nothing. But it made sense. And so now I am in such a better space mentally that I can share my experiences without embarrassment. I used to
Mhm.
be really embarrassed because it was weaponized against me, you know?
Yeah.
It was, well, if you have this going on, or if this is where your mind is, or if this is how you think, you're not capable of taking care of these kids. You're not capable of loving these kids. You're not even able to take care of yourself. Look at you. You can't even take care of your own mental health. And it's like people
Mhm.
don't understand whether you have children or not. It's hard to get up every day and just exist in the world. Everybody has their own problems, their own emotions, their own struggles outside of this house, outside of their house, outside of, whatever they have. And for me, how I kind of pulled myself out of it was that I felt like there was so many people who were looking at me as if I couldn't do it, as
Mhm.
if my mental diagnoses were crippling to who I was as a person or as a mother, that I was like, I got to show you something. I got to show you what this looked like while I go through this, because I'm not going to sit here and say I don't still go through it. Heck
Yeah.
yeah, I still go through it. It's heavy. A lot of the days it's heavy. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody ever gonna be able to take away from me that I show up and sacrifice and love my kids down.
Mhm.
I never let nothing happen to my kids. My
Mhm.
kids will never know what it feels like to feel the way that I felt. I'll always show up for them. And I had to take my power back in a lot
Yeah.
of situations.
Mhm.
I had to cut off a lot of people. I had to really tell myself that I deserve what
Mhm.
I deserve. Because there was a lot of things I accepted that I did not deserve because I wanted people to see me. I tried to stay in situations that were dead because I was
Yeah.
like, I just want you to love me. I want you to see that I'm worth it. I want you to look at these kids and I want you to see that they're worth it, that they're amazing. And essentially and unintentionally, I was seeking validation from a lot of people.
Mhm.
I used to crash out on the internet. I used to just post all my business. Like, it was draining. It was very toxic place to be. It was not until I started to just kind of limit what I shared, who
Mhm.
I shared it with, you know, my journey with God, bless it, came a long way. My mental health came a long way. I just had to stop being so afraid.
Yeah.
I had to stop being afraid what somebody else would think because nobody could put my shoes on and walk them, even if they did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can put my Crocs on and walk down the street. It's not going to be the same walk as me. You know, your feet might lean when you walk. I'm just saying. But, you know, I've come a long way. And I think for a long, long, long time, people were just even afraid to say the words depression
Yeah.
because people have feared, well, once I tell you these feelings that I'm having, you're going to lock me up somewhere,
Right.
you know? And that's a
Yeah.
scary place to be. So it's like, where is safe? What is safe? And then you start to think like, well, I'm always calling my friends. I'm always telling my friends, but they don't really understand. They just taking it all in. And then you become like,
Mhm.
I don't want to burden people with all my problems.
Yeah.
I don't want to unintentionally put that on them for them to now carry that.
Mhm.
And in a way, I used to be very selfish because I used to not care what nobody was going through at the time. I only cared about what I was going through. I needed somebody to hold me and pick me up because I felt like if I fell too far I was gonna be gone, and that was
Mhm.
gonna be it. But I had to learn that nobody can fix me. I gotta seek those answers. I gotta find that out on my own.
Yeah.
And like I said, I started therapy in 2023. It was not easy in the beginning. It's still not easy, but it's I'm a lot more comfortable now.
Mhm.
And that's why I feel like I use my platform to just kind of talk about mental illness and talk about my struggles without even giving too much in detail about my life, but just
Mhm.
letting somebody else know that like I see you. A lot of people are out here just we're just so entangled in this web of internet right now, and it's
Yeah.
like nobody's being authentic. So it's like everybody's looking at all these people who are pretty and prim, and it's like they have money and they have hair, they have their nails, they have all these different things, and it's like you're comparing yourself trying to figure out what you're doing wrong in your life that you're not there with them. Instead of seeing more people that are like me. Hey baby, not rich. Still love my kids. I shop at Walmart. I shop at Goodwill. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I can't afford to get my nails done every 2 weeks. I can't afford $150 lash sets. I can't. I can't afford bust down wigs and things like that. So a lot of those things I taught myself how to do because I was like, well, I'm still a girl.
Yeah. I
You
still love
know,
those things.
I still love those things. So I learned how to do them myself.
I think this world is lacking a lot of authenticity,
Substance.
especially since we are so engulfed by social media.
Yeah.
Everybody is posting their best days, and even
Mm-hmm.
if it's not a best day, they're presenting it as that.
Yep.
And what I do love about your platform is that you show up authentically as yourself. You show up, you're cooking for your kids. Your kids are helping you. You might have, maybe had a rough day, but you're showing up and showing people, hey, just because stuff doesn't feel or look the way you want it to be right now, that doesn't mean I can't show up for myself. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people need to see more of that. A lot of people need to see someone who is in their same footsteps, because if we're all just seeing people who are showing their absolute best day, of course we're going to literally feel like we're doing nothing. We're going to
Yeah.
feel like, oh my God, my life is terrible. I'm absolutely failing.
Yeah.
When oftentimes,
So are they.
yeah, we don't know what
We
they're
don't
going
know.
through. We don't.
And
So
you
I
know
think
what?
that's,
I saw a girl on TikTok, not to interrupt you. I saw a girl on TikTok where it was like her basically like revealing her life was not perfect after she had been for so long trying to pretend that life was perfect for her. And she's like, let me tell you something. I have no furniture in my house. I'm in this house. I'm in this condo. I don't have any furniture. I have this one room I do all this content in, but look at my house everywhere else.
hmm
Nothing. Nothing. And when I did my rebranding, I said, I don't want to look like everybody else
yeah.
because that's not real life. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to bed at 8 o'clock every day. My kids don't go to bed at o'clock every day. You know, I wake up, my bed's not made. I'm not
hmm
waking up and making my bed every day. My skincare routine is not perfect and don't look the same every day. You know, it's just not the way the life is. And I think that people need to see more examples of that. If we're going to have these platforms, we need to utilize it by being authentic, because
Yeah.
these are the young kids that are looking up to us now. Like we grew up on social media. Like when it was first starting, we were right there.
Doing regular stuff.
Regular stuff, and I say it all the time. I'm like, there was a time where we could just go outside and stand under a tree and take a picture, and that was just enough. See a
That was
butterfly,
enough.
see a something, just peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, our favorite shoes of the day. Like, and it was simple times. Like there
So
wasn't this
simple.
whole you gotta plan and plot and it's like
The
that's
color
the
scheme,
colors, everything has
everything.
to look prim and perfect. And it's one thing that really bothers me is this whole aesthetic of luxury. Like
hmm
if it doesn't look like this, you're not where you're supposed to be in life.
Yeah.
If it's not if it's not the stainless steel with the wide open windows on the top floor and you paying $2,000 a month in rent, you're not doing anything in life. Let me tell you
Right.
something. I live in a 3-bedroom townhome with white appliances and brown cabinets. I love my space. I've been here for 5 years.
hmm
I don't have a huge backyard. I have a nice open patio, and it fits a grill big enough to smoke some ribs on it.
I don't even have a backyard.
Hello? But to me, there needs to be more conversations about you making your space luxurious. Luxurious is not the appliances. It's
It's
your
not.
space. It's about the luxury of being able to even have a space and call a space your own and be able to walk up and down your stairs or walk around the corner, wherever you may have it. That's your space. Luxury is what you make it.
Exactly.
And there needs to be more conversations about that instead of sitting here talking down or treating other people, because it's like the vast majority of us are not rich.
Mm.
And encouraging people to go out and spend their last everything
Yeah.
to fulfill an aesthetic to make somebody else comfortable or to make someone else feel like they're not doing well in life. When half the time you don't even know that these people are doing afterpay just like we are. These people are taking out loans and they're renting. They don't even,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm like, I have so proud of myself because I just learned to just be confident in what I got. Because I remember the start of my first apartment and where my home is now. And one of my favorite compliments when people come over to my house is like, I love your house. It just feels so homey here. It's my favorite compliment when people come
Yeah, I
in.
love that.
It's homey. Because like, yes, I love my space. And I spread love and light all day, all long. I'll be tired. Because some days I'll be like, oh, why nothing positive? But even when I go into that space, God's so good. God is so good because he's been able to shift my mindset so much in these last months since I joined my church. He has opened my eyes and showed me so much, and that the possibilities are endless, and that although healing is not linear, as long as you get up every day and continue to try, you're going to be all right. Nobody said it
Yeah.
had to be perfect. Nobody told me the road would be easy, and I don't believe he brought me this far
to
to leave
me.
me.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you just have to know that being present and showing up every single day is enough.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you ever have to remind yourself that?
Yes. I have ADHD. So there's a lot of the time where I'm like, okay, this hour I'm gonna be able to do this, and then this time I'm do this, and I make this a list. It's an unrealistic checklist, right? Of all this stuff I want to get done in a day, and then when it doesn't happen, I'm defeated, and I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. Like I can't do this. Like I just can't. And sometimes I have to remind myself that Rome was not built overnight.
It wasn't.
And be okay with what you did get done. Because at the end of the day, where I always lead with, God woke me up this morning. I've been blessed enough to get to work. My kids are happy. They are fed. They are not fed BS. You cook for them. God was
Yeah,
able
you
to
be
put
cooking
food in your refrigerator. And even on the days where I'm like, I don't even know how we about to do this because I don't get paid for another 2 weeks. I can't drain that account because at any given moment something could happen and I'm gonna need that money. I have to remind myself so often that it is okay. Even on the days where it's like, maybe today you didn't get anything accomplished besides getting up and going to work and getting your kids to school. That itself is an accomplishment because a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to wake up this morning.
Yeah.
So I do have to remind myself a lot because I'll be 30 in a week. And by now, I thought I would be married. I thought I would be living in a home, in a house with a brand new car. And I had this, I had a plan and a vision for my life. And God had a different plan. And so I am just trying to be okay with trusting his plan for me and not the plan that I had for myself. And for that, that's what keeps me. Because I if you allow yourself too many times to get defeated, it almost, to me at least, feels like I'm being ungrateful. And I don't want to come off as ungrateful and then God starts stripping stuff away from me.
Yeah.
So while I'm over here like, oh, this is still not enough. And it's so crazy. Love Cardi B. Love her down. I watched one of her interviews. I forget the podcaster's name. I think it's Jay. She did an interview and she was talking about how we ask God for all this stuff, for this life, for the kids, for the whatever we ask, whatever it is we might ask for. And then he gives it to us, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we have all this outside noise. We have the devil. We have people mistreating us. We have friendships not working out the way we want the job or whatever. And so then we're like, oh, this ain't enough, God.
Yeah.
You ain't, what is this? You know? Because the devil then got in your head and convinced you that what you asked for was not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am a firm believer that God will humble you
Mm-hmm.
real quick. And it'll be in ways that you couldn't even imagine. So
Yeah.
that keeps ringing in my head because it's like I have found myself in a lot of times feeling ungrateful and cursing God like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm such a great person. I'm a great mother, I'm a great friend. Like I don't steal, like I live an honest life, God. Why won't you give me what I'm asking you for?
Mm-hmm.
And then I had to sit back and say, like, you need to slow your roll, girl. Because how you gonna take care of something if he give it to you at this level when you can't even take care of it at this one?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think sometimes I have to remind myself because lately I've been walking into my apartment and saying, I want something different. I want something
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to leave this place. I've been here for
Mm-hmm.
3 years. When can I get it? When can I get what it is that I'm asking for?
Yeah.
And oftentimes I have to remind myself, I need to be content.
Yeah.
You're not going to be blessed
Yeah.
if you are constantly sitting in a blessing that you had already prayed for and are just like, well, when's my next one? When's my next
Yeah.
one? God, when am I gonna get something
Yes.
else? And it's like, you haven't even stewarded what I've given you now. You're
Hello.
not even content with what I've given you now.
Hello.
So why should I bless you and you haven't, and you're not even grateful for what you have right now? So lately I've been trying to really practice just really showing that I am grateful.
Mm-hmm.
Adding more decorations, even though I
Yeah.
know my lease is coming to an end, being content in this space and making it my home no
Yeah.
matter how long it has
Yeah.
until I'm here, because I'm just,
That's where you're at. The home is where
yeah,
you are. You make the
yeah,
space the home. You know what I mean?
exactly.
No matter how big it is, how small it is, sure, you make that space what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was in the same boat. I'm like, man, I'm tired of living on the east side. I don't feel like I belong here. I've grew up here my whole life. I don't, this is, I deserve to be in this type of space. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how you gonna tell him what you deserve, where you deserve to be,
Mm-hmm.
and you coming home and you could not have anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's why I love my space. Like you said, buying decorations. And like, every time people come over here and they're like, oh, you must spend a lot of money. I don't spend a lot of money. Do I look like I got a lot of money? I'm a single mother of 2 kids. No, I am a budget and I'm a smart shopper. And we could do another podcast where I tell the mommies how to manage their tax income money, because that's how you do it. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing about it is you just really can't be afraid to live life how you want. Like, it's your life. It's your house. These are your kids. Who cares what somebody else think? Who cares if you bought it off a marketplace? Who cares if you went to a flea market? Who cares if you went to a garage sale?
Yeah,
I don't care.
it's my
Do
home.
what works for you. Because
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, when you come home, my biggest philosophy is I want to be able to walk in every corner of my house and love it there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be able to sit in the bathroom and be like, I could sit here all day. I want to be able to sit on my couch or in my living room and be like, man, this is home. This is my safe space. My house is
Mhm.
my safe space.
Mhm.
And I wish more people would just be okay with themselves and what they
Yeah.
have instead of impressing other people.
Mhm.
Because I think we all can fall into that. Like, we need to be humble. A lot of us need to be humble. And, one of my biggest things that I keep saying to myself on this journey with God is like, what if people look at me and they think I'm faking because I was like this before?
Mhm.
And I got the confirmation I needed the other day when it was just like, me talking about God does not mean that I don't still sin or that my
Yeah.
life is perfect, but you're holding on to who I was, a version of me that doesn't even exist today. I'm not the
Yeah.
same person I was yesterday. And so you just got to get to a point where you just don't care. I don't care. I don't care because I know what God is doing for me.
Mhm.
And there was a time in my life where I would talk about God and I would see how it would like make people uncomfortable. And I would be like,
Yeah.
so then it made me like, well, shoot, maybe I shouldn't be talking about this right now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And now I'm just like, well, I don't care how you feel about it. Shoot, if me talking about God is disrupting you, then baby, you need to go sort out your demons because
Yeah, there's something in your spirit.
it's something in your spirit that's not right. And why not praise him out loud? If I'm praising him when nobody's watching, I'm gonna praise him all the time, every time, whoever's around. I don't care what your beliefs are. This is my walk, and
Mhm.
hopefully it can encourage somebody else because I could sit down and write a book at 29, all that I've been through. And a lot of my friends say like, you're strong, you're strong, you're strong. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that
Yeah,
because
nobody wants to hear that.
I don't want to hear that because these are the cards I was dealt, but I didn't ask for them. You know,
Exactly.
I've been going through stuff since I was a kid. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask
Mhm.
for that trauma. I didn't ask for that. And so it does not always feel good to have to be strong when you want to just have a moment of weakness,
Yeah.
and it'd be okay for you to do that. But as a
Mhm.
mother, you're always constantly told you don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. You don't have time to break down and cry, and your kids aren't supposed to see you cry, and you
Mhm.
you got to keep it together. I know what that does to kids because I was a product of a mother who always pretended to have it together, and then it's like it affected me. It affected
Yeah.
our relationship because when you continue to allow things to just build and build and build, and it's like you're not allowed to feel what you're feeling because you're a
Mhm.
person outside of being a mom, you will start to resent everyone and everything around you, and you will unintentionally traumatize people.
Yeah.
And that's just the cycle. It's a
Yeah.
cycle that I want to break, which is why I go so hard about mental health, so hard about just staying in my Bible, and also needing a break. We need to stop making mothers feel like needing a break from their kids.
Is
Oh,
this a problem?
you're the worst mom ever. What do you
Yeah.
mean? You have these kids. Why don't you want to
Mhm.
be around these kids? Says the people that don't have kids. That's why I was saying in the beginning, the emotional part of it is what kind of
Mhm.
the emotions of being a mother,
Mhm.
because you're always on autopilot. There's always
Mhm.
something. You never stop being a mom. My kids have been gone for 2 weeks. I've never had to stop being a mother, even with them being gone. My days are still filled with motherhood duties,
Yeah.
scheduling
People don't
doctor's
realize that.
appointments, all of the things. The logistics. You know what I'm saying?
Admin work.
So I mean, like I said, Ashley, like we could go on and on and on and on for days. I feel
Mhm.
like certain questions trigger other responses because it all is so much.
Mhm.
But out of all of the probably sounding like I'm complaining, I love being a mom. I love it. I love it because it gives me a chance to give my kids what I didn't have. And I'm not
Mhm.
talking about the materialistic things. One of my favorite compliments about my kids when they go somewhere else is that I have the most emotionally intelligent children that somebody has
Mhm.
ever talked to.
Oh, I love that.
And it's because I'm like, I work so hard. I care so much about the humans that I'm raising up to be a part of the world.
Mhm.
That's such a compliment for me. Because
Mhm.
as a young girl who would just cry and have all these feelings and was told, like, you don't have no reason to be crying. What you crying for? Or you ain't got no business. You know, with nerves, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't make my kids feel like that. Like, and I don't treat my kids like, oh, you're a child, so what I say goes. It kind of reminds me of Matilda. I'm
Mhm.
big, you're small. I'm smart, you're dumb. Like, I don't treat my kids like that. You
Yeah.
know, they're not on my level because they're not, but I don't make them feel small. Their voice
Mhm.
still matters in this household, you know. So we have a lot of let's talk things through. How are you feeling today?
Mhm.
Is there anything that I could be doing a better job at? Is there something? And then when we have those conversations, it allows room for growth on my end because who better to get it from than the source? People discredit kids a lot. These children, if you talk to them like people,
They're smart.
they are so smart. You would be surprised at the things that come out of their mouths. And they will teach you a lot about yourself. I think
Yeah.
that's another big thing that I've learned through motherhood is that your kids will also teach you.
Mhm.
They'll teach you how some areas of your life you're still naive. You
Yeah.
have to be able to open up all different perspectives and all different because we're not all looking through the same lens. You
Mhm.
have to be open-minded. And I think that that's why I have the relationship that I have with my girls where but they still know I'm your mama.
Mhm.
I'm not your friend. I'm your best friend, but I'm not your friend. And they know what I mean.
I think if more mothers, well, not mothers, let me not say that. I think if more parents in general treated their children that way, a lot of issues that we have in the world, we probably wouldn't have if they allowed their children to have a platform of expressing emotions,
Yeah.
expressing how they feel. Just, I don't think people realize the psychology that goes into not letting your children have emotion and experience them.
Yes.
They will hold them for so long, and when they get older, they don't know what that is. I don't
Yep.
know why I act this way when something in particular happens. And that's just because when they were kids, they were taught to suppress their emotions.
Yes.
What are you crying for? You don't need to be crying. You took my favorite sucker away, and I love that. So I'm going
Yeah.
to cry about that. Why
Yeah.
can't I cry about that?
Yeah.
So I think it's really beautiful to know that you give your children that platform because a lot of kids didn't have that. I mean, even we didn't have that so
Mm-hmm.
much growing up. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really important. I want to talk a little bit about community.
Mm.
What are you looking for from your community? What is going to help keep you grounded as you are continuing your motherhood?
Authenticity. Authenticity.
Mhm.
Just a group of like-minded individuals who are not afraid to talk about real life scenarios, situations, motherhood, job, car, life. It has to be authentic for the support to feel real, you know?
Mhm.
And for anybody who's going to listen and watch this and felt offended by me saying I don't have a support system, I do apologize. I do have a support system. It might not be how I want it,
Mhm.
but the love is there. And I want to say thank you for those who continue to love me because that's a lot too. You know, people might not be able to give me money or watch my kids and stuff like that, but knowing that people love me and are there for me, sometimes the moral support can feel like it's sitting at the back and it's not enough, but it
Mhm.
does. That right there is maybe what I need from community. It's like,
Yeah.
that constant just the showing up and telling me that you love me, that telling me
Mhm.
that you care. Sometimes that's all I want to hear. I don't need $1,000. I don't need a lot. I require very little.
I think people just
But
want to be
I just
seen.
want to be seen. I just
Mhm.
want to be seen and I want to feel understood by someone who either has been through, going through, or it can at least empathize, and not look at me like I'm looking for sympathy. I don't want sympathy. I need support.
Mhm.
So maybe that is what I feel like the communities is lacking, period, when it comes to mothers. Stop putting it all on us. Like we carry so much, not because we want to, but because we have
Mhm.
to. And it would be nice to hear more often, like, it's okay for you to not be okay. Take a load
Mhm.
off today. You did that, you
Yeah.
know? And if I want to
Yeah.
take a load off for a couple of days, I want that to be okay too.
Mhm.
And not feel like now I'm a deadbeat mother.
Yeah. I think people need to realize you can love your child and still be tired. You can it is one thing doesn't cancel out the other. Just because I love my child doesn't mean I need to be energized every second of the day.
It's unrealistic.
Just yeah, and you don't even need to place that on being a parent in general. You could look at that in any type of way. You could love your job and be tired of it. You could love your partner and sometimes be tired of them.
Yep.
So I think people need to also realize that as well.
Yeah. There's this unrealistic expectation of having to always carry everything with a smile.
Mhm.
And who you see doing that?
Mhm.
That's why sometimes I can't stand social media, because it's just like you hop on this camera every day and this pre-recorded mess. Today might not even be the day that you showed up like that. Today might be the day where you're in your bed crying all day long, but you know what?
Mhm.
You had to show us that life's still prim and perfect for you. It's not realistic, like you said, in
Yeah.
relationships. Like, it's so amazing being where we are at 30, Ashley, and remembering where we were when we were 12.
Yeah.
And these are the conversations that we're having. But if it's one thing that I've learned about relationships, is that you're not going to get the same version of that person every day, because they're
Mhm.
constantly changing and life is changing, and their struggles and their battles don't look like yours. So you can't expect for them to show up at 100% every day. Same with
Mhm.
motherhood. You can't expect somebody to show up every single day, all gas, no breaks. You get tired. You're going to run out. You're going to run out of fuel eventually. With friendships, with your job. One thing I told my job when I first started, like my coworkers, I'm going to let y'all know something right now. I'm cool. I'm funny. I'm fun. I love people. I'm a happy person genuinely. However, there will be days that you might want to leave me the alone. And I'll tell you on those days that this is where I'm at, so that there's no confusion on why I'm acting this way. And it's the
Mhm.
same way with my kids. My kids know when I come home from work to leave me alone for about 15 minutes.
Give me my space.
Do they do it all the time? No. But just even being able to create a space for people to understand I'm not going to always be okay. And
Mhm.
you can't say I didn't tell you that. It's unrealistic to show up perfect all the time. Life is
Yeah.
not perfect. Think about how many days where you're like, today's going to be a good day. You got to keep telling yourself, because sometimes you do got to tell yourself, even when you don't believe it. You got to keep talking to yourself until you do believe it. Do you know
Mhm.
how many days I woke up on the wrong side of the bed? And while I'm over here just griping and complaining, I'm angry. Now now my belt looped and got stuck on the doorknob. Now I hit my pinky toe. Now I'm tripping and falling. I can't find my keys. And then life starts to spiral, right?
Yeah.
By the time I get in the car, I have two children who wake up on high energy that I'm supposed to be able to entertain. Like, this is not a circus. But that's what you're told when you start having kids. It's like, you got to keep them fed. You got to keep them happy. You got to keep them healthy. You got to, keep them out of the mix. You got to keep them. No, I am very 100% honest with my children. How was your day? Today, I was a lot. I was anxious today. Today, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little overwhelmed. My kids know what overwhelmed means. They know what overstimulated means. They know what it
Mhm.
means to ask me what space I'm in before they just get to yapping.
Oh, I love that.
Because every day I don't got it. I don't have an
Mhm.
answer to you today. Today, all I have is how was school. I'm glad you had a good day. How are you feeling emotionally? That's all you got for me, because now I got to get my brain ready to go do chores at the house, make sure you have a meal. And all the time I'm watching the clock, because I got to make sure you're in bed on time so that you can get up and start your day again and you can have a productive day.
Mhm.
I'm big on tone as well. the way that you talk to people, the tone of your voice, you could deliver a message the same way in so many different ways.
Yeah.
It's the way that you deliver the message. The message is the same. It's the delivery. And oh, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. It's okay to not be okay. And sometimes we're our own critics. We're our biggest critics because it's like, but I don't want to feel like I'm not okay. Like, if I'm not okay, everything else will not function properly. But that's where that support comes in.
Yeah.
Nobody is meant to do it all by themselves, whether you have kids or
No.
not. Everybody needs somebody. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a village, and people think it stops with raising kids.
No.
You need a village, period.
You need a village to help move you out of a home. You need a village for everything, not
I say
just.
everybody is my village. I tell
Mhm.
my therapist that she's a part of my village because she is.
She is, yeah.
My psychiatrist, he's a part of my village.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who comes into my life and does anything for me, even if it's this small, you are a part of my village.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people need to do a better job too. These parents, we need to do a better job at thanking these teachers and giving those teachers their flowers, because they're taking on a responsibility that I couldn't even imagine when I'm
Yeah.
how I'm dealing with 2 kids and they got 30.
Yeah.
You know, I always give my kids' teachers their flowers and appreciation for them, because you're helping raise my kid and make my kid a better person as well.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to come back and say, if I said I didn't have a village, I do. And I appreciate y'all. Life is still hard because even in a village, I'm still a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that ungratefulness that I said can sometimes come off as ungrateful, because somebody else could hear it and be like, well, what she mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I brought her kids McDonald's
Mm-hmm.
on a day she didn't have no money to give them. I don't ever want to come off as this. I just don't have nobody.
Yeah.
I think for me, this the main thing is that I did not create these kids by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And as hard as I go and as hard as I love them, I expect the person who helped me create them have that same type of energy, but it just don't always work out like that.
Yeah.
So it's like, even in that situation, you got to just be okay and trust God and give it to him, and that you're never going to be without. And that's the biggest thing of all. I'm never without.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never without. He's never allowed me to fall completely flat on my face.
Yeah. And never will.
And never will. And that's that. You got to keep that faith, because his
Yeah.
grace for us. Ooh, don't get me in here talking, girl. But
So, for anyone who might be feeling stretched thin this week, whether it is in just life or in motherhood, what would you suggest they do to kind of help them find themselves a bit this week?
unplug, turn off the noise, give yourself some time to yourself, whether it's go outside
Mm-hmm.
and just sit. Something that I like to do is go outside and just listen. Music, nature is the best music.
Yeah, sometimes I do that too.
It's
No
the
music,
no
just
music,
outside.
just outside. Like, whether it's listening to the cars, you can hear like the little insects, like, just and breathe. Just breathe. Do something for yourself that maybe you've been telling yourself, I can't have this. But maybe you've been on this weight loss journey and you're so
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm sticking to this, I'm sticking to this, I'm sticking to this. But God, I really want a piece of fried chicken, or I really want that Starbucks drink. Do it anyway. Do it anyways. Do something for yourself that's going to make you feel good, even if it's small,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's washing your hair. Carve out some time for yourself. And for mothers, those kids going to be okay if for one day you don't
Yeah.
do something that's part of the regular schedule routine. Our kids deserve to see us be human. We're not robots.
Yeah. And I actually was thinking about that the other day. Just view it took me a while to finally see my parents as human.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I had seen that younger, I probably wouldn't have been as hard as I was on my parents
Yep.
younger. We have to be able to realize, oh, you're a person too. You
Yes.
can have a bad day. You
Yes.
cannot feel good. You could, like you said, stub your toes, snatch
Burnt
your
out.
belt on
Burnt
the,
out.
yeah.
Burnt out.
It's important for us to see that because we hold our parents at such high
Mhm.
regard for
Mhm.
so long. And it's not until we probably get into their late 20s where they're like, oh, you're a woman too.
Mhm.
You have friend problems, you have
Mhm.
work problems. You're not
Mhm.
just your day doesn't just revolve around
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
I
really
think that there
important.
is a fine line. So for like I was just telling my honey this is that sometimes I call my mom up randomly and just say I'm sorry.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. Because there's so many things that she still has yet to heal from, and that she was just doing the best with what she had, and
Yeah.
she wanted to be a good mom so bad that she neglected herself, and that it poured onto her relationship with her kids. But it was because she was so busy trying to be the superwoman, the robot. Like, you can't, I never saw my mother cry.
Mhm.
Ever. I can't tell you one time when I was a child how many times I've seen my mother cry. Probably one time. And then even as an adult, I've only seen her cry a few times. It's it's generational because kids supposed to stay in the kids' place. And I get it. But I still believe that there is a part of that dynamic where kids deserve to know how real life is,
Yeah.
especially the how fast it's moving now. There is no more, oh, birds and the bees, and if a stranger danger. No, you have to talk to these kids like real life.
Yeah.
You have to break things down for them to understand the value so that they can respect cost of things. Because
Mhm.
like you said, we were so hard on our parents as children, and it's like, dang, my mama this or my dad this, and it's like whole time you don't even know that they'd have made sure that you had everything you needed, and now something at home didn't get paid, and now they got to figure
Yeah.
out how they're going to pay this bill
Yeah.
so that you can still have a home to come home to.
Mhm.
And they're doing it, and we already know that the odds are already against us as a black community.
Mhm.
You think about the black man, and then you think about the black woman, and how now we've come a long way, but back then when our parents were raising us in the 90s, it's
Yeah.
not the same. And sometimes I struggle myself with trying to figure out where's that line of telling my kids too much of my business
Mhm.
and making them feel like burdened, and like
Yeah.
now they have to carry some of this, while also being like, hey, your mom's not rich. There was a
Yeah.
debate going on Facebook about a parent said, I don't feel like kids should get permission to open up the refrigerator. We all know as children, we couldn't just go in our mama's refrigerator and just eat whatever we wanted to eat. And it
Yeah.
was for a good reason. Because once you become an adult, you see the cost of things. You understand what it means to have bills every single week. On the
Mhm.
weeks that you're not getting a paycheck, guess what? The bills are still due. You still got to feed the kids. Still got to make sure the kids got shoes they can fit. You still got to make sure that, they might need a re-up on the vitamins. You got to
Yeah.
get to work. You got gas. Letting your kids just go up in your refrigerator whenever they want to, helping themselves whenever they want to, is diabolical because of the cost of living already being high.
Mhm.
Groceries are high, and kids will just eat because it's there, because they don't have to go to work. They don't have to pay for the stuff. So they're
Right.
like, she'll get it. She bought some more last time. She'll buy some more again.
Little do they know.
Little do you know. And so what I've had to start doing, because unintentionally I've overcompensated for the lack of having the support of the other parent, I feel like I
Mhm.
do so much because I'm like, I don't ever want them to feel like they're without. But realistically, I cannot replace the relationship that they have with their father. And I cannot stress myself. That's another thing I'm going to tell anybody that's a single parent, whether you're a single dad or a single mom. We have got to stop stressing ourselves out, trying to overcompensate for the lack of help we get from the other parent, because we're only
Yeah.
one person. We're only one person, and your best is enough. You
Mhm.
showing up is enough. Whatever you can provide is enough, because as long
Exactly.
as you are loving your children healthily, they will always appreciate that. I would much rather have nothing and be at peace, and my kids turn out to be great people who don't have to live their life going to therapy because I've traumatized them
Mhm.
because I cared about the wrong things,
Yeah.
or I allowed life to beat me down so bad that I resented my kids and was not able to show up for them the way that I want to, the way that you're supposed to. And I'm not going to lie and say that some days I didn't have it at all. Some days I was so overstimulated, I didn't even want to hug from my kids. Don't touch me, please. It's too much. And that's okay too. And I went to therapy and I had a very long discussion about it because I felt so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I used to be a mom who all I wanted to do was cuddle and hug and kiss and touch and like, come on, let's just frolic, and like life is so great. Oh my gosh. And then it's like, I done set these kids up for failure
Mhm.
because I changed. And I felt the change. I knew the change. Like I said, the kids are day and night. Riley was me when I was still very naive. And I always knew I wanted to be a mother. And life was fun. It was girly. Riley was such an easy kid to raise. Not so much now, but she was so easy. It was easy. She was always quiet. She was always a little funny and quirky, and it was just us. And then Layla came and turned it upside down because she was complete opposite. The girl
Mhm.
started walking when she was 8 months old.
Oh, wow.
She's always been a like, it's about me. I'm the main character. It's Layla's show. I'm running this. And Riley was when I was more softer, and I was traumatized. I came with a lot of trauma, but I was still in that like, why me though? And
Yeah.
I was way more extending of grace, and I was still softer. Like I still held on to who I was because I was like, I don't want to let nobody make me hard. But as those years went on, and then I got pregnant with Layla, and I was pregnant, and I was raising another kid on my own. It turned me into a beast.
Mm.
I lost a lot of friends. A lot of people turn their backs on me.
Yeah.
I found out a lot of people's true colors. I lost a lot of relationships.
Mhm.
A lot of them meant a lot to me. And it turned me into a beast. It turned me cold a little bit. It did harden me, because what it showed me was that you can still love and not be naive.
Mhm.
I had to stop being naive to what people were showing me. And I had to really get out of that space of like, you got to let go of what you had wrote for yourself down, because that's not real life.
Yeah.
And I felt like, because I continued to just be soft and open, and people started to take advantage of that. And it turned me. There were a lot of pivotal points in my life where I pivoted and was like, I ain't hurt no more.
Yeah.
But having to really tough it out and figure out how to get it out with respectfully, with 2 kids, 2 girls, while still trying to deal for my own trauma. A lot of it, I don't even know what, like you said, as a kid, you like, I don't know why I feel like that, because why I feel like that. Well,
Mhm.
somebody's taking that sucker from you and then telling you that you shouldn't feel no type of way about it. Essentially, you grow up and you realize that you've dealt with so many different type of people who have done nothing but take from you, and you've
Yeah.
just been okay with it because, well, when I was 5, people used to take things from me all the time, and I was told I couldn't cry about it, and that was life, and people were just going to take from you. But people that were taken from me were the people that told me that they loved me.
Yeah.
So now I've grown to deal with people who have treated me horribly, but because they told me that they loved me, I accepted that and I tolerated that. And I was just like, well, they love me. So, it's okay if they take things from me. I'll just figure out a way to get it over for myself again. And
Yeah.
that's the way that childhood trauma works. You don't know, like you said, it's suppressed, and then it just comes out. Eventually it has to go somewhere. It has to go somewhere else, and it comes out. And that is one of my biggest things with my kids, is that I know there are going to be things that are out of my control. There are going to be some things that my kids probably want to work through therapy, because I'm not perfect. There might be things that I'm like, I'm doing it this way and it's perfect, and I'm creating this space for them to talk about things and this and this and that. But they might grow up and be like, whatever, and there might be something that they want to talk about that was like, but Mom, there was this one thing, and then there will be there, but then the space will be so healthy that I can say, well, now that you're an adult, I can tell you that this is what I was going through at that time, and I was really just trying my best, and I was killing myself to not get us here. But I think just being open to that, and not already, that's that anxiety of thinking ahead when it hasn't happened yet. Because I think that's why, as parents, like, when you want to be so perfect, you want to get it right so bad, that we start to get in our heads about little things. Girl, I told you we could talk forever now.
That's really powerful to just really sit in here, because like you said, you do need your village. You do need to see your parents as human, but you do also need to realize that mothers, parents in general, are doing the best that they can with the knowledge and the resources that they have. But before we wrap, I do want to ask you a question.
I'm gonna keep it brief. I'll be talking.
No, you're fine. You're fine. What is one lesson motherhood has taught you that you'll carry forever?
You have to take care of yourself in order for your operation to work. You can want everybody else to be taken care of around you, but if you yourself are not well, it won't work. And with that, I am going to leave a scripture. Luke chapter 6, 37 through 42. Yeah, I'm gonna start crying again, but Luke, read that. Read the whole chapter, because it talks about it. You cannot possibly fix the problems of others when there's dust in your eye. You can't get the dust out of somebody else's eye when you can't see yourself.
You gotta put, like they say when you're on the airplane, put your mask on first.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. Well, Tyler, this conversation has been beautiful.
I know. I always love our talks.
I think this was really a conversation that many women needed to hear. Women, mothers, parents in general, to really feel seen. And I feel like you provided that space for mothers to be heard, to be felt, and to be seen. So thank you for taking the time to speak with me today.
You're welcome, Ash. I can't wait to do it again.
Yes. Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Facebook and IG at Ty Kennedi _. Also follow my business page, Ty's Kitchen. That's Ty's 3_ kitchen. Love you guys.
Bye. Well, y'all, I hope this episode reminded you that healing and motherhood, or any season of becoming, doesn't have to look perfect to be real. Tyler's story is such a beautiful reminder that grace and growth can coexist. If today's conversation spoke to you, take a moment and share it with another woman who might need it too. And if you haven't already, make sure you follow Finder and Keeper where you listen to podcasts, and connect with us on Instagram at Finder and Keeper Pod for more stories of finding and keeping yourself. Until next time, take care of your heart and keep choosing you.